maybe a little leadership trouble around here in the SBMA. We're on a standstill, but it is also best that we hear from our officials. Last week, we were able to interview Chairman Dino, but it was more about these projects, and today we will have some things from our administrator. All right, so stay tuned with us here at SBMA In Action. I hope everybody is up and about, no matter what. There are 4 days only in this week: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but there's so much to be able to accomplish. So I hope you have the drive to be able to start the day. No matter what happened yesterday, no matter how tired you are, or maybe how rested you are, both ways you still have to be able to complete your task for the day. Time management is a must. Customer service skills is also a must, no matter what. And try to catch up because time is so fast. If you notice, it's already half of the year. And I know for some, maybe career parents who are around, they just brought their kids to school because some private schools are just starting their classes today. So that's going to be a lot of maybe more traffic for today, but we know very well, first to stop, first to go. And everybody tries to observe traffic rules here. It's not really much here in the Subic Bay Freeport Zone. We'd like also to encourage our LED to be always on alert, although they're doing their very best all the time. And we'd like to congratulate them for their endless effort to be able to manage traffic well in every intersection and to be able to work through the rain or through the sun. So we'd like everybody please also to observe all the rules and to be able to cooperate with our law enforcers. If there might be like areas wherein there's a little checkpoint or there are little like delays because of our security measures, then please do cooperate. Ayan. So it's a wonderful day. Are you positive for the day? I hope DJ Tom had coffee and Double B also had his coffee, and everybody is, I think, working well and trying to focus on. It's on a standstill right here at Subic Bay Radio Station until we have our guest for today, and it's SBMA Administrator Attorney Wilma Isma. And I know how it is. I know that our media affairs manager, Ms. Ron, is fetching her right now, but I also know that with officials like this, it's very difficult sometimes to pull them out because there are meetings. There are also walk-in guests. You know how it is. That's why it is really, really best that we solve all these leadership issues. Is there really only going to be one chairman as administrator too, or are we going to have separate person for chairman and separate for administrator? But still, it's more than that. I believe it's more than that. There are many other issues that are coming up right now, so we will see how it will be. Yes, and we would like to welcome everyone who is right here. I can already see Ms. Ron coming here, and she's already around, so most probably our guest will be in. Again, as I said, if you'd want to have some questions, please feel free to call 250 8995.
8905.
Oh.
252-8905.
Okay, so that's good. DJ
Our
Thompson.
landline hotline.
252-8905. So prepare.
Yeah.
And if you have other questions, of course, you can always send it to us. Don't forget, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and also
Ustream.
TV. Okay. Did you hear that? That's DJ Tom up and about with his coffee. You see how a glass of coffee. Okay. Have you had your breakfast, people of the world? Are you there listening to us right now? And have you had also your own, let's say, a cup of coffee and maybe for some breakfast? For those who take breakfast, that's very good. For those who do not take breakfast, maybe you would be a little low bat for today, but there should be no reason. Life is so beautiful, and if you are given a position like heading the Subic Bay Freeport Zone, it's a great gift, actually. It's a very nice opportunity for you to serve and to be able to lead, all right? So so many of us are always asking about this and that. Today would be a day wherein you can clarify matters maybe, or we can hear something. And of course, there are long-term problems, there are short-term problems. So for as long as we are things like we have to be on standstill, work and operations have to go on. No? So we're saying hi to all our different departments, our audit team, finance, marketing, promotions, and then we have our business investment, and then we have our pass and ID group. We have our labor department who are doing a lot to recruit a lot of good potentials for the different companies who are seeking for employees. You know, the SBMA Labor, but they have their own radio program right now with DJ Tom every Wednesday. Correct, and that's really a very, very big help because it is not also easy. You know, the SBMA Labor, they go through a lot of resumes, they go through a lot of qualifications, they read and then they study, and then they also want to send the best potentials to each agency or company who's trying to recruit people, because it's not really easy also to employ people. But we also have those who deserve to be employed, and we also have those who might need more training to be employed, or they try to match the qualifications to a certain position required by another whoever or whatever, restaurant or hotel or things like that. So these are the things that we have to consider. So I'm also very glad every Wednesday would be the labor program, and wherein you can also fill in your questions and send. And then we also have what day is a medical thing? Medical Friday?
Consulta pang medicina.
Yes. Thursdays. Oh, that's good.
Right.
So I'm sure you also have a lot of phone-ins, no, for that, a lot of questions for that, because there are those who really get tired of consulting a doctor, and they feel that they don't feel much better, or they also have other reasons, like maybe the distance, they don't get to match their time, cannot match the availability of the doctor, or sometimes they just want to have a second opinion. That's why programs like that are also a big help, because it can supplement whatever you know, or it can also reinforce whatever your doctor has also said to you. And it might be able to motivate you to really see a doctor. You know how it is. We have people who do not like to go see a doctor. I don't know with DJ Tom, you have time to go to a doctor? I don't think so. You're so busy every day.
Well, there's still time rin naman, but minsan lang.
Minsan lang. Yeah. And there are also those who have all the time to go to a doctor, but they don't like to go to a doctor, right? May mga matitigas talaga yung ulo. May mga ganon rin. So they just believe that they can heal on their own, or they have their own self-medication. Yan yung tawag, diba? But of course, we have basic things to do, because it's different when you have a lab test for this and that. It's different when you have maybe ultrasound or whatever the doctor is requesting you. But I'm just saying that radio programs like this, like you have every Thursday here, Subic Bay Broadcasting, is a very big help to anyone.
To have pang medicina.
Pang medicina. It could really like stimulate you or maybe motivate you to personally see someone.
Yeah.
Or if you've gone to a doctor, then it can also give you a second opinion, like, oh, tama pala yung sinabi ng doctor na ganito pala.
Oh, speaking of that, Madam, may I add? Sometimes people refer their whatever they're feeling, kung ano man yung sakit nila. They ask people on Facebook, and then people would reply, people would comment, here's what you should do with that. That's very dangerous. They're not doctors. What if yung nirecommend mo, hindi naman pala yun dapat, mapasama palalo. Yung kapatid ko, ganito nangyari, ganito ang gagayahin mo naman. Bibilhin mo yung gamot na sinabi. Paano kung hindi pala tama sa'yo yun?
Correct, right.
Diba? Nothing beats consulting a doctor.
Okay. So, before we start with our special guest who is already coming here, we'd like to have our regular, sponsors for our Japanese cuisine. The best authentic Japanese food is at Sakura Restaurant. And, of course, our best inihaw, or, of course, Super Grill, right here with DJ Tom.
Sakura Japanese Restaurant.
Sakura Japanese Restaurant.
The only authentic Japanese restaurant in Subic Bay with affordable prices. We serve a wide variety of fresh sushi, sashimi, makimono, salads, tempura, yakimono, teppanyaki, wagyu Kobe beef, fresh from Japan. Also check out our new special menu. Come, dine and celebrate at Sakura for weddings, parties, seminars, and catering services. We also accept deliveries for a minimum purchase of 3,000 pesos casinos inside the Subic Bay Freeport Zone. For reservations, please call 252-2666. Fax number 252-2667. You may also call or text 0918-922-5860 or email sakurajapresto@yahoo.com. Sakura Harbor Point is now open. Try our rainy days promo, Sakura Zen Set, and choices of bento with drinks at 350 pesos only. Please call 251-1114. Looking for the best place for grilled food or your favorite inihaw? Zugba Grill. Zugba Grill is for you. Menu rate starts at 30 pesos only for pork barbecue, chicken barbecue, blue marlin, tuna belly, boneless lechon, shrimp, squid, crab, shells, and others. They got amazingly affordable prices with such mouth-watering taste. Try the Zugba Grill at number 11 Afable Street, East Bahakbaha, Olongapo City. Open from 5 p.m. till 11 p.m. See you at Zugba Grill, a place where you can order much more without worrying about the budget nor the taste. For reservations and inquiries, please call or text 0956-156-0003.
Did you know that the flagpole in front of Building 229 is symbolic? The flagstaff has a height of 94 feet, symbolizing 94 years of the U.S. military presence in Subic Bay. The flagpole base measures 8 feet in height, symbolizing the 8,000 volunteers of Subic Bay. On November 24, 1991, one of the biggest Philippine flags in history was raised over the flagpole and flew for the first time in the former Naval Base, symbolizing the beginning of the country's sovereignty over Subic Bay. The Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority and the entire Freeport community commend the heroism of the Subic Bay volunteers.
Sarap gumimik sa Subic. Girls,
Hi, Auntie!
beaches,
Auntie, swimming tayo!
Oo nga, Andy!
parties, at duty-free shops.
Baby, I'll buy you anything you want.
Teka, nasa Subic ka na ba?
Kung wala pa, biyahe na! Biyahe na!
Enjoy Subic this summer and have fun!
Like swimming, duty-free shops, check into first-class hotels, dine in to a fine restaurant.
Every weekend, summer gimmicks sa Subic.
A lot of things to have fun, like carnival rides.
Enjoy Subic this summer!
Kung wala pa kayo sa Subic, biyahe na!
Hi there, this is Ron. Whenever you're inside Subic Bay Freeport, there's no overtaking on double solid yellow lines and on hills and curves.
In Subic Bay Freeport, traffic rules are strictly enforced. A safety reminder from Corporate Communication, LED, and this station.
On 89.5 My Subic Bay Radio, it's SBMA in action with Gina Prohorov.
Subic Bay Radio. Subic Bay Radio.
Hi, I'm Gina Prohorov, right here at SBMA In Action in 89.5 Subic Bay Radio. And of course, our guest is already here. But before anything else, I would just like to say that it has been a long time that I've been covering the different chairmen and different administrators of Subic Bay Freeport Zone or of SBMA. But this is the only time, although we already know that every time there's a change of leadership, everybody's on a standstill until whoever is appointed comes. And whenever whoever is appointed comes, everybody supports that person and respects the decision. So we've had a little conflict when it came to our chairman, Dino, and there was a time that we were on a standstill because attorney Randy Escolango was assigned as an OIC administrator. But since then, looks like there was no like peace because everybody, Chairman Dini was not like acknowledging that thing and there was a conflict. And then there was a standstill again until finally we have a lady administrator assigned. But before anything else, I'd just like to know that this lady gave me a very good impression when she was working for a multinational corporation, and I really believe in her because she gave an impression of being somebody who had delicadeza and a principled woman. And when I learned that she was going to be administrator of SBMA, then I said, wow, what a good choice. And SBMA and the people in the Subic Bay Freeport Zone, locators, residents, and shoppers and whoever will be very lucky to have her. But, okay, here we go. And we're quite, not really that fortunate, but fortunate fortunate for today to have her finally. But before I wanted to introduce her, before interview her, but because of the hectic schedule of this and that, because ang tagal nga na walang administrator na assigned until finally when she came, everybody wanted to see her, so I didn't have a chance. But today, we have our very own SBMA Administrator and Chief Executive Officer, CEO, Attorney Wilma Isma. Good morning, ma'am.
Magandang umaga po sa kanilang lahat, sa lahat ng nakikinig. I prefer to be called Ami. I'm sure you know every Filipino has a nickname. And my friends and family call me Ami, so magandang umaga po.
Magandang umaga. That's simply Ami. Okay. I know we don't have so much time to be like that, but let's get into the issues as of now. It looks like not only the administrator, not only our SBMA Board of Directors, but even our LGUs are already like getting into the whole picture and giving their support. Now let's go through one by one. There was a recent task force created by Chairman Dino, reportedly directly to have this task force report to him directly, and which looks like overlaps some functions of the administrator and the Board of Directors. So, Ms. Ami, Attorney.
Actually po, as soon as I arrived, the chairman has also issued several other memorandums that overlaps on my function. Hindi ko po yun pinansin sapagkat tulad po ng nasabi ninyo, naniniwala naman ako na kailangan ko siyang respetohin. And I also thought that those memorandums are very minor to start a turf war. Ang katotohanan po niyan, kung mapapansin ninyo, nung ginawa niyang malaking issue yung Ocean Adventure, hindi po ako nagsalita. Ang katotohanan po niyan, yung Ocean Adventure happened 1 week before he went to media. I was actually there and I managed the issue. I did not go to media because one, there's really nothing to talk about because the issue has been managed. And naniniwala po kasi ako na ang hanap buhay ng buong Subic Bay Freeport ay nakasalalay sa ating imahe. Can you imagine investors coming here? If we have leadership issues, nobody will come. Nobody will trust us. Kung natatandaan ninyo na the reason na bumilib ang mundo sa Subic Bay Freeport noong 1992, 1993 is also largely because we have a very charismatic and visionary leader in the person of Chairman Richard Gordon then. So leadership is very important. So I go back. I try not to sensationalize things in the media, especially if it's manageable, if it's something that's explainable, because the image of Subic is very important. On the issue of the several memorandas that he issued things like, kailangan maayos kayo sa flag ceremony. In fact, I thank him for that. And because that should have been my job, and he did it, and I appreciate that very much. But then he issued appointment papers for his own staff. Naglagay po siya ng 2 abogado from the legal department. Actually ang tamang protocol ay dapat sinabi niya sa akin sapagkat ako po ang appointing authority. Meron pong Civil Service Commission ruling that says I am the appointing authority, or the administrator is the appointing authority. So what should be properly done, if you know what you're doing, is you have to talk to the appointing authority and say, I need 2 lawyers, can you give it to me? But what he did is he issued a memorandum and said, these lawyers, please go report to my office. Hindi ko po yun din pinansin because, you know, he's my chairman. It's so petty to start a problem. And there are several others like that. My point here is, what broke the camel's back is on May 31, he issued an administrative order, number 1, creating a task force to oversee operations in the guise of transparency and good governance. And he kept on saying check and balance. First, if it's his order, it should not be an administrative order because I'm the administrator. It should be the chairman's order. And then second, when you look into the administrative order, you can see that it obviously encroaches on the duties and responsibilities of the administrator. And that's when problem comes in, because now people are confused. And we do not want that kind of confusion, because our constituency are not voters. Our constituency are businessmen na tumataya ng sarili nilang pera, ng kabuhayan dito sa Subic. So we cannot take that sitting down anymore. For the first time, for many months na marami siyang inisyu na mga kung ano-ano, I finally answered officially and said that, look, under the law, you're supposed to preside over the board meeting only. You're only supposed to implement policies that are formulated by the board or oversee implementation of projects that are approved by the board. So napakaliwanag yan, and it actually has an enumeration. And nakakapagtaka because bakit may confusion, kasi ang liwanag ng batas naka-enumerate.
Correct. Yeah. May tanong kami, ma'am. When you were appointed, did you ever get a chance to sit down together? Para you can have your own, like agreement, and you have your own like pag-uusap na, okay? Because both of you should be aligned with each other, no? And you have your own limitations. Like chairman is chairman, administrator. Did you have a time to sit down and, okay?
Actually, as soon as I received my appointment, there were feelers to talk to each other. And I actually told him that I don't want feelers because pag dumaan ka sa mga middlemen,
yeah, correct,
the messages gets muddled. True. So I I gave my number and said, let's talk. Nag-usap po talaga kami. I remember our very first conversation. And I told him, you're my chairman, so I will respect you and I will follow your beat. In fact, remember at the time, katatapos lang nung nagre-reeling lang, they're just reeling from the whole Dino Escolando discussions. That, I mean, as alam naman natin that because of what came out in the media, the image of Subic and their both personal images are on the downhill. I even offered that maybe we should sit down and talk about how we can rehabilitate your image and Subic's image. But I think I have, now that I'm looking back at that discussion, because he never came back to me on that. So I'm afraid he might have gotten offended. And maybe.
But
so
it's not clear. Did you ever have a personal, you're talking about a personal
Yes, I did.
meeting?
If you'll allow me to continue. I actually also had a personal one-on-one discussion with him in my office. My chief of staff was present, and I discussed with him the things that we need to do, including how we will go about our plantilla positions. Because dahil nga po wala naman talagang separate offices ang chairman and administrator, ang staff positions po na available is for one office only, yung chairman and administrator. So nag-offer pa nga po ako sa kanya. I remember I have a list na ito yung plantilla positions, hati tayo, tigliman tayo. And then he said he will think about it. It's now 6 months. Hindi pa din po siya bumalik. Yan pong issue ng Executive Order 340, Republic Act 7227. From the get-go, that's also already being discussed in the board meetings. Pag nandoon sa board, umaayon, paglabas may problema. Nito pong nakakaraang linggo, ang isa sa ating mga butihing board of directors, ang tagal akong kinukumbinsi na mag-usap na tayo para ayusin na lang natin, let's not give the president any headache. And after weeks or days of discussions, pumayag ako. Sabi ko, okay, let's talk and see how we can meet in the middle. Unfortunately, nung nag-reach out po itong aking emissary na isang member of the board, ang naging sagot din po sa kanya ay walang usap-usap na kailangan. Dapat si Presidente Duterte ang mag-desisyon. So, we've tried. It's not really for lack of trying. I know better than that. So yun po, nakakalungkot because this is the father of our agency. We should both be the ones who are leading the agency together. But papaalala ko lang sa inyo na this is not about me. If I just let you go back to what happened previously, when Chairman Dino was appointed in October, during the turnover, Chairman Garcia said, "You're the chairman and I'm the administrator." Because Chairman Garcia actually have two separate appointments. He has two pieces of paper that said one chairman, one administrator. Tama nga naman po yun. Kung ang napalitan pa lang chairman, yung administrator appointment niya is still valid. And if I remember right, because of that reaction, nag-issue si Chairman Dino ng memorandum order declaring himself as administrator. So that's the first instance where he is insisting that he is administrator. Si Chairman Garcia naman po, at that time, I guess he got tired already and he just resigned. And then second, the Malacanang appointed Attorney Randy Escolango as OIC administrator while there's no official administrator yet. And there were problems again. So, and it was Chairman Dino again who said that that's not a valid appointment because it was not signed by the President. And then now, third, when I am the official administrator with an official appointment with the President, they're still arguing that the chairman should be the administrator. So, isa lang po ang common dito. Tatlong taong iba-iba, Chairman Garcia, Attorney Randy Escolango, and myself, pero iisang tao na hindi makatanggap or ayaw intindihin. Ayaw ko naman pong ibelito na hindi niya naiintindihan. Baka lamang po may pinaguhugutan sapagkat alam naman ninyo na lagi niyang sinasabing may utang na loob sa kanyang Pangulo. So, I know I am in for a difficult fight. I am not politically connected. I've come here and I'd like to believe that I got appointed because I can do the job. And when I get appointed, I'd said the universe must be telling me something to do this, and I got myself prepared to leave my cushy, comfortable life and come back home. But then, if you think back, now that I'm thinking back, if I didn't get it, and someone got appointed, and this will be the situation again, how credible will be that administrator so that the people will fight and the people will rally against it? The overwhelming love and support of the people is what's making me strong. And whatever happens in this fight, I will always be grateful for that. And I will never regret, and I have no regrets that I came home. In fact, even if I eventually not get the official job, if there will be a Solomonic decision, I'm already not thinking of going back to Manila. I will just stay home and do whatever I can here. Because hindi naman po ako takot mawalan ng trabaho. What I can do speaks for myself. And I'm just very thankful that this happened with me. Kasi yung ang nangyari nung panahon ni Randy, the people got broken up. While they know, ako po naniniwala kasi ako na tama yung appointment ni Randy. Pero the people started doing a Team Randy and Team Escolango. Team Dino and Team Escolango. What I want here is not the Team ASMA. What I want here is Team SBMA. Because we are supposed to protect SBMA. SBMA is our legacy to our children and our children's children. we shed sweat, blood, and tears for this place. And it is all up to us to make sure that it is intact, it is protected, and we can leave something behind for our children.
All right. So that's a very soulful thing from our SBMA administrator. No, nakikita natin yung intention is for a one SBMA. It's not her name, but yun na nga, the three personalities mentioned earlier, there seems to be like a common ground here, that it's one already against three different personalities. Okay, may I just go back to what you mentioned, although nasa papers na yung about the 42 appointees or 42 member staff, and you mentioned about the 2 lawyers. Attorney, when he asked for that, di ba kayo po yung mag-approve or the board approves for the salary of these people? Is it correct or no?
I don't have that list. I still have to verify. Pero kung natatandaan ko po, ang mga staff sa office of the chairman ay samot-sari. Merong nasa plantilla position, yun nga pong sinasabi ko sa inyo na in-offer kong hatiin namin na hindi na siya bumalik sa akin. Meron din pong contract of service, meron din pong contractuals, meron pong 5 consultants, at merong I think that's it. So yun pong 42 ay halo-halo. Like yung 16 na security guard na naka-assign sa nagbantay ng bahay niya. Meron pong plantilla doon, merong CS, merong, I think, contract of service. Siyempre po, pagka ganun, meron pong naka-assign na salary grade yon.
Correct.
So, yun po. Ang sinasabi po ninyong i-decide ng board ay yun pong consultants. As you know, the chairman, when he arrived here, he actually had a platoon of consultants. But that has been trimmed down. And 5 na nga lang po ngayon. At nagdadagdag na naman po siya ng 3. So yun pong 42 actually may kasama yung ina-applyan niya na 3. Ang sweldo po na pinupost nila, I don't remember the exact figure, but I remember they're proposing a salary grade 29. Gusto ko lang pong malaman ninyo na ako po ang may pinakamataas na salary grade dito. Salary grade 30. So you can imagine, kasunod ko na yung consultant. There were a lot of discussions. And remember, ang consultant, pwedeng pumasok yan, pwedeng hindi. Supposedly, magde-deliver ng kung ano. Supposedly, technical and expertise. Pero, si SDA Steph Sanyo, na may napakalaking responsibilidad tulad ng pagbabala ng investors dito, SDA 29 din.
Okay.
So, makikita nyo yung disparity in terms of responsibilities and the things that you need to do and your duties every day. So, it was such a long discussion in the board. And I guess largely because Filipinos are polite and you also want to accord the chairman the respect that he deserved.
So they were all approved?
They were approved. There were some, if I remember, there were long discussion and there were some parang binaba yung iba na SG26, naging SG28, but they're all still sizable amounts considering that you don't show up for your job every day. I'm sure si Tommy here shows up every day. And Ron shows up every day. Ikaw, consultant ka lang, so dumadating ka lang pag show mo. Ganon yung difference nun. Ganon yung difference. But then, here, it seems si Tommy na kahit saan ako pumunta, nakikita ko. Nag-host, nagpe-paperwork.
Nagbibit-bit ng mga
Diba? Nagda-That's Entertainment kahit saan pumunta.
Yeah, correct.
Ang salary grade niya, di hamak na mas mababa dun sa salary grade ng consultant na kung sisipot, bahala na. So, So yun lang po. Yun po yung issue ngayon. Ito pong huling board meeting, nagpo-propose siya ng 3 na namang consultants na pangalawang chief of staff. Ako na po ang tumutol dito sapagkat kailangan po ba talaga ng 2 chief of staff? Kasi may isa na po siyang chief of staff. Yun po ang, in fact, na desisyon na may pinakamataas na salary grade doon sa 5 consultants.
Ano yung justification, attorney?
Well, hindi niya na-justify kaya hindi rin na-approve. Because I was asking, I remember I asked, does this mean the first chief of staff is now resigned? Because you're now bringing your daughter as your chief of staff. So it just needs, ako namang clarity lang eh.
Yes.
This is never personal to me. This is about the job and this is about protecting SBMA. Kasi pera ng bayan yan eh.
Yun.
At pinaghirapan natin lahat yan. Whatever SBMA right now or Subic right now, it would not have happened if not for the volunteers or our parents. Alam ko bata pa si Tommy, so yung nanay niya na siguro ang nag-volunteer dito dahil 12 years old ka pa lang nag-volunteer ka na, Tommy. Grabe ka naman.
The very first batch of the buses that rolled in, I was in there.
Bravo. So I think it's a disservice to all of us who served as a volunteer
From the beginning.
If we let this happen.
Yes.
And sinasabi ng mga malalapit sa akin na, Ami, you don't need this headache. And I'm telling them that it is a disservice to my people if I don't give it a fighting chance.
Correct, yes. And this God has really put you there for a certain purpose.
Well, ngayon po naniniwala na ako dyan.
You should.
Because I think the people will react differently kung si Tommy ang administrator.
No, kailangan as strong as you. Let's just get into this thing also because maraming nagpapatanong rin sa akin na his travels, right? The president has had 11 travels so far, president of the Philippines, but the chairman has had how many? 8 foreign trips. No? Pero ayon sa board, he never came back with a justification or ano yung nangyari, ano yung achievement. But ang question ko is, or question ng ilan ng nagpapatanong is, di ba bago you're given a travel permit or a travel pass or kasi may
travel authority
kasi may corresponding budget for that. Hindi ba ito gina-justify kung bakit kailangan pumunta before the budget is also being allocated?
Ang proseso po kasi sa aming dalawa ni Chairman, we seek a travel authority from the Office of the President.
Okay.
And then when you submit a request for a travel authority, you also submit an itinerary of what the schedule is and para makita nila na may gagawin ka talagang tama.
To the Office of the President.
Office of the President.
Ayun.
So, I would assume, because most of those travels happened before I arrived, I would assume he does not really need the approval of the board.
Yun. Okay.
However, we really need to report what happened. You need to submit a trip report to the President. And and him as chairman, he really need to submit a report to the office of to the board of directors. So I think yun ang naging kakulangan, and dahil kinakailangan kung meron talagang reporting, yan pong reporting ginagawa na po na. I remember when I used to work with Senator Gordon as chairman of SBMA, gumagawa talaga kami ng trip report, and I do that too. And I do that too right now. And it is something that needs to be done. And actually hindi ko nga ho yun napansin, nabasa ko na lang na meron palang gano'n na issue. Because I'd like to believe that the chairman, being the chairman, knows what he's doing. And with 42 members of his staff, siguro naman alam nung staff niya na dapat gumagawa ng report.
or baka kako nga, because they're supposed to give their itinerary to the office of the president. Their only obligation is also to justify through that office at hindi locally. Baka lang on the other hand. But patama rin yung, because he's absent from here, like I understand there was one board meeting where he wasn't around because tama lang talaga yung pagbalik niya. He shares and he gives a report kasi who will implement, di ba?
Apo. At importante po kasi, I remember as I told you, may itinerary.
Yes.
So supposedly you have to stick to that itinerary. Hindi pwedeng lumalabas doon sa itinerary na yon. Nakasama na ko na po si Chairman Dino sa isang biyahe. At medyo may instance po talaga na hindi niya sinunod yung itinerary nung na sinubmit namin sa Pangulo.
Okay.
So and that
Pero that yung extension or something like new itinerary, was it like helpful, you think, to the SBMA?
I wouldn't know because he never told us.
Okay.
Nalaman ko na lang
Nawala na
nasa Facebook niya. At saka nalaman ko na lang. Actually, nakakahiya nga kasi si Chairman Banayo pa ng... in that meeting, I remember, Chairman Banayo of the Manila Economic and Cultural Office of Taiwan is the highest Philippine government in that meeting. Sa akin niya hinahanap. Nasaan ang chairman mo? Sabi ko, naku sir, hindi ko po alam. So, yun, simple. Because remember, we are the representatives of the Philippine government. So we always have to have a certain decorum on how to...
Nakakalungkot nga kasi napakaganda sana yung development ng SBMA and Subic Bay Freeport Zone kung naka-align ang ating chairman and administrator, kung nakapag-teamwork talaga. I mean, like, it's going to be a lot different. At saka, look, it's already June, half year. At ang daming pending things, like even for SBMA, for the locators, even in my case, pending yung mga certificate of registration, ang dami. So, sayang yung time. Now we'll go into this issue about Chairman Dino saying allegedly that there is a disappearance of a 10 million intelligence fund. Would you like to clarify this, Administrator?
SBMA, since the time of President Noynoy Aquino, stopped getting intelligence fund. The last time that SBMA had an intelligence fund is during the time of Chairman Salonga and Administrator Areza. Tinanggal po yun ng panahon ni Chairman Garcia. Hanggang ngayon po wala yun. This issue came about because I think during the budget discussions in Congress, Chairman Dino of course represented SBMA. May kaibigan po niya si Congressman Bravo ng NATCO. Wala pa po ako nito because this is October or November, I think. Dahil magkaibigan sila, siguro gusto naman ni Chairman Bravo na magtulungan si Chairman Dino, si Congressman Bravo ni Chairman Dino. Nagmanifest siya na dapat merong 10 million intelligence fund ang SBMA. However, ang final 2017 General Appropriations Act, ang lumabas po, wala yung manifestation ni Congressman Bravo ng 10 million. So, ang lumabas lang doon ay yung manifestation on the subsidy of Hanjin for power and yung manifestation ni Senator Gordon na tulungan tayong makabili ng bagong equipment for the airport. Yun pong manifestation ni Congressman Bravo hindi na-carry. So, ibig sabihin po nun, kung wala sa General Appropriations Act or sa budget ng gobyerno na ibibigay sa atin, hindi po yun mabibigay. Batas po yan eh. Hindi po yan, like ngayon, hindi pwedeng i-insist ni Congressman Bravo na, hindi, sinabi ko yan eh. Batas na po yun, hindi po, you need another law to amend a law. So, there never was, and never will if you will ask me, because I will not ask for one. Intelligence fund is a very tricky fund to manage. And I would rather, kung kaya naman natin, kung nakaya ni Bobby Garcia na walang intelligence fund, bakit kailangan ko? Hindi po ba? So, there's none. maghanap siya sa GAA. Or since kaibigan niya si Congressman Bravo, tanungin niya si Congressman Bravo bakit hindi napalagay dahil para sa kanya yon. It just goes to show how ang kakulungan sa pag-intindi. Ako kasi ang natural instinct ko pag may problema ang SBMA is to find out what's wrong and to make sure it doesn't happen again. Hindi yung tulambast, hindi sirain ang SBMA. Because parents are not like that. Kapag po ba ang mga anak ninyo nagkamali, ang initial instinct nyo parusahan, ang initial instinct nyo ba ipahiya? Siyempre po ang initial instinct natin is what happened? Diba? Ayaw mong maulit, kailangan mo siyang matutunan ng tama. So, ang point ko po dito, kung hindi alam ni Chairman Dino ito, at nauna pa siya sa akin dito, pinapakita nito ang lack of understanding of the financial condition of SBMA. And I tie this up with his reason why he issued the administrative order in the first place. He said there that this is to avoid financial ruin. Kung hindi mo alam ang financial condition, how can you avoid financial ruin? If as basic as 10 million intelligence fund you do not know did not exist and you just went out guns blazing. What is more important? Is it the headline or the truth?
Yes, because that term, financial ruin and financial collapse, that could affect a lot of investments coming in, that could affect a lot of image, like parang anong nangyayari sa leadership ng SBMA, and that really made or worried a lot of our locators. And I'm sure all those in the marketing team, all those who are trying to get in more investors coming in, or who are just on the one step through right now are maybe on a halt, like, teka muna, tingnan muna natin. And usually ganun yan eh. Pag wala pang chairman, appointee, or wala pang appointed administrator, also everybody's on hold. Teka, let's wait, who? And let's see what kind. Yung ganun. So, this is quite sad. But can you give a statement about the financial status of SBMA?
I'm very, very proud to say that SBMA is actually at our peak in terms of financial performance. SBMA has seen through very difficult times, but this is not one of those years. In fact, we're over 9.6% from our highest financial performance year, which is now 2016. Right now, it's not. But I'll be honest, I'm worried that this whole leadership turf issue will affect us in the long run. I really, really wish it could get settled soon so that we can go back to work.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. You were in Congress together recently, right? Last week?
Yes.
And did you ever have a chance to talk with each other? Did any congressman say, okay, can the two of you sit with me and something like that? Did anything happen like that, even off-cam or what?
Unfortunately, none.
None.
Because, again, as I said, nag-reach out na po ako.
Right, oo.
Nagpapasabi na po ako, mag-usap
Yes.
tayo. Sinabihan na po ako na wala nang usap-usap. Pumunta ka kay Pangulo. Alam naman po niya na hindi ako malakas sa Pangulo. Alam naman po ng lahat na hindi ako a political person. And I'm also being accused of a dilawan. It is sad because there shouldn't be any colors. The colors that we should carry is only the colors of Subic Bay Freeport, the colors of SBMA.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. Just for the background of everybody who may not really know, how did you get appointed? Would you like to share it with us?
That's a story.
Kasi I'm sure ang daming nagpadala ng mga resume nila way back. Ang dami niyan. All political, whatever, parties are there, possibly, huh? Even from the private sector, meron rin yan. Go ahead, Administrator.
Actually, in July last year, sa mga ganitong panahon, my family and I were on vacation in Washington, D.C. And then I got a call from a good friend asking, Ami, pwede ba kitang i-nominate as administrator of SBMA? As at the time, parang alam ko hindi naman ako nominate kasi nga hindi naman ako political, hindi ako tumulong sa election. Hindi ko nga tinulungan si Senator Gordon sa election, can you imagine? Because I was very busy with my corporate life. I really couldn't. Ano lang ako, yung 15 days lang ang leave ko. Hindi, kung nag-leave ako, hindi ko na, you know, that kind. I was really very busy. And thinking na hindi ako ma-appoint, I said yes. Of course, I thought about it, and by the time I've been working with Philip Morris for 17 years. I've traveled the world. I've pretty much bought everything that I wanted to buy. I've been to places that salamat sa suporta at pagtitiwala ng mga local government units. Hindi ko po yan hiningi. Nagulat na lang po ako nung meron na pala silang resolution or declaration of solidarity. Ang nakaka-touch po, even San Marcelino and Castillejos even came up with their own resolution supporting my leadership. And I don't even know them personally. So, ako po'y, kung para lamang dyan, tingin ko sulit na yung sama ng loob ko at hirap for the last couple of weeks. Muli, nagpapasalamat po ako sa kanila. Nagpapasalamat din po ako sa board of directors. Again, I didn't know that they will come up with that. And ako naman po, utusan lang po ako ng board of directors. Isusulong ko po ang tama, yun ang sigurado. Hindi po ako magsusulong ng mali kahit kailan. And I think they saw that. And which is largely why they probably supported me. Ang suporta po ng mga empleyado is really what overwhelms me. I think, as you said, this is maybe the reason why it was me. Because the employees would likely not have supported anybody else. The overwhelming support and the overwhelming love are the ones that fuels me every single day, that makes me wake up in the morning every day. Despite all the trials and tribulations, if you will let me use the word. But this is not my fight. This is their fight. Because ako po, aalis ako after 6 years, after my term. Or probably even earlier kung hindi ako ma-appoint, di po ba? But at the end of the day, kayo ang may iwan. Sila ang may iwan dito sa SBMA. They will have to hold on to the fort. And they will have to have a leader they believe in and respect, so that SBMA can move forward.
Okay, that really gives us a very sad, note. To know that somebody who is so sincere and who has the capacity, kasi napakahalaga yung qualifications, the professional qualifications of an administrator at that. And then to think that this is not somebody who aimed for it, lobbied for it, naghabol, yung pinagdasal na sana hindi yung ganon tipo. At yung
Sorry,
nakikita
Gina.
niyo man sa story, niya, when everybody heard that, na nung tinawagan siya ni Secretary Bongo, she just said, pwede ba kasi may trip kami sa Baguio? That was very spontaneous. Na parang, if not, definitely anybody would say, okay, let's cancel the Baguio trip, we have to go. Pero baliktad, ibang klase. So, this just proves na this is not about a person fighting for a position. I think we could clearly see Administrator Esma can stay, can go. If she goes, voila. She has already been there, and she's very stable. She can find whatever she likes to do, whether to work or not to work. But I think this is more in-depth. Yung kanyang sentiment about being able to be a big part of developing Subic Bay Freeport Zone until finally she resigns from whether corporate world or career world and just enjoy life. But this is something, as I said, God has been in the middle of this, just like dating chairman Garcia natin. He was also somebody who did not lobby for anything. Nagulat na lang rin sila. And I told Mariby before, that's God's word. That's God's decision. That's faith, as you said it. Just like President Duterte, if we can go back
Destiny.
to it, diba? Destiny. Yung tipong, ang dami niyang kalaban. Ang dami niyang kalaban na mayayaman. Lahat nandiyan dyan. Tapos sikat. Lahat, you know? And hawak yung mga media, hawak yung mga broadcast stations. But destiny would say, God sometimes has a will. And this is good. And we're actually very lucky sometimes maganda pag babae ang administrator. You know why? They go into details. Iba pag babae. Ibang-iba talaga. Details about the finer things. Not only about structural things or system. But marami pang pwede sanang magawa. Yes, administrator.
Nabanggit mo kasi yung dasal.
Oo.
Alam mo, nagdasal ako na wag ko makuha.
yan, binabaliktad ng Panginoon.
Kaya tuloy hindi Kaya naniniwala na talaga ako sa destiny or God has put me here.
Correct. Go with the flow. God
Actually, alam mo, na-realize ko yan ngayon over the weekend lang na there must be a reason it was me. Because kung si Tommy ang administrator, baka hindi siya makakuha ng ganitong support. Similar to what Randy did, di ba? Randy did not get Randy just split the in half. So, hindi naman ako nagsasabi na I have the 100% support of SBMA employees, but I can pretty much say I have 99. And because I'm only fighting for what is right and what is provided for by law. So, thinking of prayers, nagdasal talaga ako na hindi ko makuha.
Go with the flow. The universe said, this is the will. Do not resist. Diba? Sabi nila, just to be happy with what is given to you. Look at it as a blessing. Diba? Blessing. Imagine how many people are there like hoping. Blah, 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 blah. Pero look, yung sinong ayaw, maybe God. And we should thank the Lord for that. Parang, okay, God, good. You gave somebody who has the moral capacity to be strong. Otherwise, pwede naman for your position or for your level. You can just say, I don't need this. I back off. Diba yung ganon? But when you look at it, kawawa nga. Kawawa yan nga yung mga naiiwan because stand still na naman.
Yes.
You go to the office early so that, people will know.
I don't go to the office early. I go to the office on time.
Okay.
Yeah. Back to basics, sabi nga ni Monch. Wag nating kalimutan ang work ethic.
Right.
Kailangan pumasok na tamang oras. Well, I do come to the office early. Usually ahead of my staff. But ang importante sa akin, kung alas 9 ka dapat nasa office, alas 9 ka dapat nandun. Or 8:30. Punctuality is very important.
Correct.
Even in appointments or hindi ako nagpapahintay. At saka kung assuming naghintay ng kaunti, I will be profusely apologetic because other people's time is very important.
Okay.
Yan ang natutunan ko in the last 20 years I was away with SBMA.
Okay. And for those listening right now, for our locators, is your policy still the same, that they write a letter first for an appointment so that they can be guided?
Well, actually, they can send me a message. A lot of people are sending me messages. I don't mind that too. Kaya lang, if you send me a message, I will pass it on to the secretary because, as you know, I really don't control my life in terms of appointments. A letter is fine too. A letter helps because we get to know what the background is so that pag nakipag-usap kayo sa akin, ready na. Hindi yung doon ko palang aalamin, ano ba to? So because I would like to be, so that the discussion will be short and your needs will be met immediately. Dapat ready. Meron tinatawag na CSW. It has to be complete staff work all the time. I'm very, very strict with CSW. Because nothing will get done if you don't do CSW first. My staff has learned that the hard way. They've been eaten alive for not doing CSW.
Okay, and Saturday is for you is a day off?
No, there's no day off in the life of the administrator. Usually weekends po, I do mga official stuff. Lagi kami nagkikita ni Tommy pag weekend. Kasi mga opening ng triathlon, mga ribbon cutting. Kung kailangan meetings, wala po akong sinasantong araw. Kung kailangan, good. Kung hindi kailangan, then good. I can catch up on my sleep. I'm not big in social life. My social life is really my family, my nephew. Kung wala akong lakad sa labas, sa bahay lang ako. It's funny because there was an incident where on a Saturday, I finished my day early, as in mga 3 in the afternoon. Tapos na ako sa official function. Umuwi ako na maaga, natulog ako. And then my security panicked kasi hindi ako sumasagot sa text, hindi ako sumasagot sa... Akala yata nila, tinakasan ko sila, feeling tumakas ako, hinahanap na nila ako sa Olongapo, hinahanap ako sa police, bakit wala? Natutulog lang kaya ako.
Oh!
So, because I'm not, they would expect yung wala akong social life in a way.
You might want to give us the chance, or maybe let the listeners have a chance to get to know you. Like, they've been comparing maybe the chairman with the 42 staff and a lot of security guards. How about you? Would you want to share this? How many drivers you have? Or what?
Sure. Unang-una po, nung dumating ako dito, wala akong dalang staff. Wala akong dalang consultant. Naniniwala po ako na ang lahat ng marunong magpatakbo ng SBMA nandito na. Kilala ko po kayo lahat. At it is wrong for me to judge you by bringing tens of consultants because it's like saying you don't know what you're doing. So, ang naisip ko po at that time, let me go ahead and do the job first, and then I will now see ano ang kulang. Then when you have identified the gaps, then that's when you bring in your staff. Unfortunately, hindi na ako nagkaroon ng chance magbigay ng dala ng staff kasi wala palang plantilla dahil doon na sa kay-chair na. So yan. Right now po, I have a volunteer lawyer. Volunteer meaning walang bayad. Back to the old days. Attorney Ann has been in my office for 3 months now with no pay. Hindi naman siya nagde-demand ng pay, so binabayaan ko lang siya. And he's really very good.
All right. That's good.
I think you remember Ate Tess Clark.
Oh yes, Miss Clark, one of the best.
There you go. I only hire the best. So Ate Tess Clark, I had to get out of retirement. Siya lang po ang consultant ko na nagre-report sa akin. Because Ate Tess already retired.
I know, that's why I was surprised when
that
I saw her.
She came back for me. She came back for love.
But I said, very good, please be with her. Yeah.
So yon, and then my staff is now 6 people. Some of them came from the time of Chairman Gordon, Tong Payumo, Areza Zalonga, Garcia. And then security, I have 2 each time. 1 guard, 1 security, 1 driver. Kung ako po ang tatanungin nyo, ayokong mag-security. In fact, that was the first thing that I said. Pwede bang hindi na lang? At the very least man lang, driver. Because even sa Manila, I already have my own driver. Kaya lang, especially now, ayaw nilang pumayag. Ang bahay ko po may bantay na 1 guard. And that's it. So 6 plus 4 na security na nagpapalit. Hindi po yun 4 na sabay-sabay. So 2 at each time. So 6 plus 4, 10. Plus 1. Na kung ika-count mo yung security guard sa bahay. So 11.
So
yeah,
you have your own personal adjustments to do, right? Because there can be an advantage and disadvantage with a security man tagging along all the time.
I don't mind because my security, I treat them like family.
Okay,
At
great.
home, they eat in the same table as my parents, as my...
Nice.
They eat there.
Lucky
If we ate steak, they will also eat steak.
Oh,
If we eat lobsters and crabs, they will also eat that. Kung tuyo ang ulam, yun din ang ulam mo. So we are not. I have been brought up by parents who instilled
Kindness.
Politeness,
Yes.
and magnanimity.
Yes.
Kahit naman po sa bahay namin, sa bahay ng nanay ko, ganun din. Kasama ang yaya sa lamesa.
Beautiful. Don't be surprised after this interview, maraming mag-a-apply na security.
Oo po, sagana
Kaya,
sa steak yan.
Yung mga security officers natin, please take care of Administrator Aizma because you're very, very lucky. No? Iba yung you love the boss. Not only like, okay, you have to be with the boss, dahil ito yung sweldo mo, ito yung trabaho mo, but you really love her as a person. And in a way, the person teaches you all these values na mahirap hanapin. Napakahirap hanapin yung mga ganon. So that's good. We'd like to thank you, Administrator, for being with us.
Ami lang po.
Ami for verifying everything. I know a lot of our viewers who are watching us even live stream with Facebook now, YouTube, and then UniTV, or yes?
Ustream.tv.
Ustream.tv, please. And for those who may not be able to choose, you may go back to google.com to be able to just check Google 89.5, and then you can have the long talk, long interview. We purposely did not cut for any sponsors or what, because this is very, very relevant and urgent. So thank you for your time.
Again, thank you very much for this opportunity. If you will allow me, one last shout out. I thank the SBMA employees and the Subic Bay Freeport community for all their trust and support. Again, this is for you. It's not for me. Trust in the Lord. Trust in the law. It cannot be more any clearer than that. And trust our president to make the right decision. And may he be guided by the Holy Spirit when he makes those decisions. We're stronger together. Sabi nga po nung panahon ng Battle of 229 kung tawagin, bayan, bayan, bayan ko, di pa tapos ang laban mo. Ilaban mo, ilaban mo. So we are all again in that phase. And if we pray together, we stay together, I'm sure nothing can beat us. At pwedeng bumate.
Ang cute.
Kasi baka mapagalitan ako ng nanay ko if I don't say hi to her. And then I have a family in the US who are avid listeners of Subic Bay Radio, Desiree Bonus Richards and Kevin Thomas Aizma. Thank you very much for your support, guys. I know you're out there 20,000 miles away, but I can feel you. Thank you.
Wow, so nice, so nice. You see the real person when it comes to thinking and remembering the family members. That makes a lot of difference. We've had a tough talk this morning, but it ends up with something for everyone in SBMA, and also featuring our own president, of course, and God and her family. That was cute. Pwedeng bumate. Diba? You see the real person in it, na yung ganon ka-sincere. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. We've had extended a little bit for today, but thank you to Ms. Ron who facilitated this. Thank you to Double B who came early today, and TJ Tom. Thank you so much for being early to today. This is Gina Proharov saying goodbye every Tuesday, 9 a.m. here at SBMA In Action at 89.5 Subic Bay Radio. Bye, everyone.
Mix that keeps you riveted to your radio.
This is PBS, the Philippine Broadcasting Service, jointly owned and operated by the national government and Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority. This is where you find news and entertainment with a wide variety of music. 89.5 FM, My Subic Bay Radio.
Subic Bay Freeport Zone. Subic Bay.
Visit Subic Bay Freeport Zone.
A special message from
89.5 My Subic Bay Radio
worldwide
and Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority.
What does the one you call Dad mean to you?
He is an extremely caring individual.
He's the person you look to.
He's the best.
Celebrating Father's Day here.
Subic Bay's most favorite